Everything I say is based on my own opinions and experience. I'm not speaking for the public, and my feedback should be treated as such. You are watching Nico Evaluates. With 24 years of experience on Mega Man games, 7 years of doing the No Miss Buster Only challenge, and countless Snupster Races, as well as being the QA tester for Mega Man Unlimited, I'm here to tell you my honest opinion on different Mega Man games, so sit tight and learn. Welcome Nico, back to Evaluates. What is this anymore? Let's go to Plague Man. Mainly because I checked that stage out. That would make sense going there now. I have stuff to say about this stage. Would be bad if I didn't have anything to say about this. Nice life grab. Makes use of Rush Coil. There can't be enough love for Coil. The one thing I hate about this beginning here is that well, first of all, let's tackle this enemy. Because I love this enemy, it brings me back to the original games. But if you shoot it, the little fleas from Mega Man 3's top spin levels, the cat, come out. Can't remember the cat's name, Tama? Yeah, probably Tama. But that's a fun design, merging two different enemies from the old games into one. But they are hectic as fuck. And you also get the virus effect if you touch these fleas. That would be fine, but sometimes when you're a bit slower going through the stage, you'll notice that you will be in situations like this. You can't really go left without taking a hit, and you can't really go right without taking a hit, unless you use weapons. So using Buster on this stage is a bit wonky, but it's kinda understandable. These are the later levels, so I can excuse that. The color scheme is a bit strange in this one. It kinda looks washed out. I'm not sure how to describe it. It doesn't look like any other stage in the game. Some weird color decisions for sure in this one. And but I like that they brought some old enemies back again after merging the bosses. I really like attention to detail. But here again, you should really have a wall of some kind. Cause you can't go there, so what's the point of having it open? You're supposed to go down here. Let's see if the pull stopper actually... Alright, so it's not useful on shows either unless do it like this. Kinda have to experiment with the weapons a bit, but I do like most of them. The pole stopper and shock gauntlet are my least favorite weapons in the game. But I think the shock gauntlet is the worst in my opinion. But I'm just trying to use the weapons a bit here and to see if my decision or if my opinion about them changes even a bit. But the problem with the hell is this weapon's fucking name? Pole Stopper. I don't get the name. That's why I probably can't say it. The oh my knees. The Pulse Stopper is bad in a sense that it's slow and it's weak. It should be either one of those, not both. Because when it's slow and it's weak, you just don't have much use for it. Of course you can use it as a shield, but let's see if it actually... You can use it as a shield, he says. That weapon is just pretty much garbage in my opinion. With, like, anything you can do with Pulse Stopper, you can do with other weapons easier. It doesn't really serve any purpose. But I think the fleas are a bit too violent. That's probably what's causing me to fail here. Whoa, can't believe I pulled that off. Why would you use the Pulse Stopper as a shield when you already have this? I just don't know. But of course, I do agree with some of the people stating that this game has one of the best weapon sets of any fan game. That is pretty much true. But some of the weapons just need small tweaks. What I would do is make Pulse Stopper probably faster or stronger. Probably stronger, because it's slow. It's good when it's this low. But I would just make it stronger, because now it's pretty fucking weak. And for Shock Gauntlet, I would completely redo this weapon. I'm not sure what I would do with it. Maybe make it attached to walls, and then like shock the whole ground under it. That would be fucking ridiculously cool. Because that's what, like, you've seen those kind of mechanics in the game already. So using this weapon like this, that would be extremely cool. Because now it doesn't shock anything, it just flies on the screen, so it doesn't kind of make sense to me. So let's see if Flare gets rid of Joe. Into hits, that's okay. Interesting, it actually gets rid of those poison traps as well. That's fascinating as well. So how would you get that from the top with the Phantom Fuse, I guess? So the weapons indeed are pretty good. I would actually nerf the Circuit Breaker and the Phantom Fuse as well. They are too powerful. They are too lenient. Whenever you feel like this is too hard, you can just equip one of those weapons and pretty much beat whatever you're trying to do, because they are so overpowered. It's just an escape from like being too hard. Here, though, I don't like this placement because it makes you want to make that jump, because it's so ridiculously close. If you can make that or not. I actually tried. I don't think that's possible because the space is just too. It's too short. But I would have loved if this show was skippable. That would have been a good speedrun part. But it's barely not, so that makes me wanna try again. Of course, you'll take a hit every time. Nice for Tornado Man to help us here. I'll show you on the mini screen when we get there. But I love this mechanic. It's of course from Mega Man 5. But right there, I'll show you what happens if you wait too long. Because this mechanic works the same as the blocks that went up and down we saw earlier. And like in both of those two stages where the blocks are present. The blocks drop down so slowly that you can't jump, because you could use just a twitch on top of them. So that issue is present here again, because it works the same way. And I'll show you on the screen what I mean. And here again, just close this gap. Because it's open now, it doesn't make any sense. Of course you're gonna go right here first, because it's a side-scrolling game. But nope, you're supposed to go down here. That's a bit strange. I do like these screens. It's a little gimmick of the game. I love these. And I do want to clear something up. People mentioned that I was talking about there being too many gimmicks on the puzzle stages, and some people told me that there are many gimmicks in Flare Mass stage as well. But I think they failed to see the point. My point was that the puzzly aspects, I call them gimmicks. Because it's not normal for a Mega Man game to have those kind of things in it. And the so-called gimmicks in Flare Mass stage, that's more so the enemy types in the stage. And moving platforms and such. Those are more like mechanics to me, they're not gimmicks. I would say that the 4 puzzle stages would have more gimmicks. Whenever it's weird, like the little head unit on top of Mega Man on Thrill Mass stage, that's a gimmick. I don't like those weird gimmicks. So that's what I meant. Of course, different people call different things different gimmicks or mechanics. That's just a fact. But most of you probably understood what I meant. Like, the 4 puzzle stages are full of gimmicks, but these 4 stages are just full of mechanics. And there's a vast difference between firing the buster so you don't get killed because the head unit on top of your head is too low or too high, rather than comparing it to something like an enemy that shoots when you're on top of it. That's like comparing a gimmick to a mechanic, and that's just my take on it. And here, one problem is that you can't jump over this spike. If that's a ceiling at the top, it should be the same kind of color than the rest of this screen here, so brown. But instead it's green. First time I got here, I tried to jump over this spike. Because at first glance it looks like you can jump over it. But nope, there is a green ceiling there. I'm not sure why it's green. So the only thing you can do is slide under this spike. And the first time you access these screens, look at how long it takes for the worm to come out. It takes forever. If you constantly die on these and you have to repeat these stages, it takes a long time to repeat them just because of the worm. It takes like 10 minutes to come back. Oh, it doesn't even come back if you... Oh, there we go. That's so slow. Like, that is way too slow. Make it come out as soon as you come to the screen. Because you're not gonna lose anything. You can just reset the room if it was too fast for you. So make it fast rather than make it too slow. Especially for the speedrunners, that would be nice. In any case, small things. But I love to mention them. Again, would love some animation at the top for the arrows. You could argue that these same kind of blocks also drop down in Trillman stage, and that has no animation. But the difference is that those blocks come down when you step under the arrows. But here it's timed, so that's the difference, and that's why it makes such a huge impact on the gameplay. These blocks can be destroyed with the shield, which I like. But again, that's what I wanted to show you. There is barely any... Like, there is no way you're gonna notice that tube at the top the first time you get there. And it seems like the first time you do get here, the blocks don't drop until you are almost under it. I'm not sure what's going on there. It's probably timed somehow, I'm not sure. But you'll always pretty much take a hit from that. Yeah, the first time at least. So that's a bit... like, this spot is a bit too difficult for the wrong reasons. And here, again, advisable to use the shield. You can, of course, use the buster as well, unless you're going down here. That's how you get the life. I do love that you can use weapons to get those blocks out as well. Tornado Man, ready to help you. Oh yes, the famous face of beating Mega Man Eternal. I had that for a couple of weeks. Nice touch. Alright. Poison, Plague, Virus Man or whatever is pretty cool. Having some fun here. So, Plague Man, pretty cool. I don't like the first fight, transformation, because the hands are just pretty much in the way. There's almost no way you're gonna dodge all of these things. There's not enough tails, in my opinion. So it's just the first half of the fight is a bit of a clusterfuck, and it's just hard to avoid his hands. I'm not sure how to deal with this. He just seems to corner you a lot, and if the hands go a bit out of order here, let's see if I'm gonna... Like, now they play nice. I'm not sure what was going on earlier. So he can sometimes jump faster and sometimes slower, and that seems to really fuck up the hands. But I like the second formation, like this one. When he loses both of his hands, he starts a different fight. And I like this much more. The whole fight could have been just this, but with some additional attacks maybe. That would have been cool. I don't like the first part. But as a whole, the Robot Master is, I think, above average. It's a pretty cool fight. If you're trying to no-miss this, you're probably gonna go crazy, but then again, why would you? It is true that being able to no-miss perfect a boss makes it a great pattern-based Robot Master. But I just... Even though this boss has some problems, I still find it pretty enjoyable to do. This second transformation really is fun to fight. Reminds me a bit of bosses from Euphoria. That's not sure if you played it. It's an NES game only released in Europe, I think. And one of my favorite NES games. It's an open world game where these kind of weird sprites exist. It kind of reminds me of those games. In any case, not bad. I kind of enjoy this even though it's a bit unfair. Not bad at all. Stage has some weird colors, I'm not sure what it is. A bit washed out. But in any case, a pretty cool stage. Time for Terror Man. That's a lot of T's. What a weird sprite. What a weird sprite again, and oh my. This stage is nothing like any Mega Man game I've ever played. Or a stage, rather. Isn't this a bit too dark for Mega Man? What is this, Castlevania? In any case, this game is now known for its dark and gritty stages and brave designs, so I'm not too surprised about this one. It does look like... see the bottom portion of the background? It kinda seems like the one in Dustman stage. If I'm not completely wrong, at least it does look like it could be from Dustman's level. Again, you know my take on the birds, not a fan at all. They should not come down from the middle, and they're a bit too fast, I think. Respawn ratio is ridiculous. But one thing I have to say about this stage, it makes you want to move at all times, which is a ghoul. See what I did there? A ghoul gimmick? I'm pretty smart. Here though, things get pretty hectic. There's gonna be so many spiders. You're gonna cry if you're trying to do this with the Buster. Especially if you're trying to outrun these things. You don't want to outrun these dispensers, you're gonna have a bad time. Well, you're gonna have a bad time regardless, because look at this. So many spiders, you just want to use weapons. The flare is pretty good here. It's just... It gets so crowded with the Buster. You don't want to do this stage with the Buster at all. It punishes you hardly for bustering this one. You can do it though, but just look at this. It's so full of spiders. And this part I kinda enjoy. It has several aspects about it that makes me enjoy it. So first off, it looks like it's a little yellow devil pattern kind of thing, so that's why I like it. You can use this, so you'll shield yourself from the spikes. But it punishes you a bit, because the third spike from the bottom actually depletes the shield as well, because the shield hits it. So that's your punishment for using the weapon there. I kind of find that well done and well balanced. But again, like, enemies like zombies and such, that's not something I would do for a Mega Man game. At least make them look like, well, they look a bit like robots, but I just don't know about this design, it's not for me. Yeah, I said that, it's not for me. I realized how many times I said that in the Thrill Man stage. But this is not something that would remind me of Mega Man stage. If this was in the originals when I was like 10, playing through Mega Man, I would be like, what the hell is this? And also the 1-up is a trap. So I'll excuse this design just because of it being a trap. Bam! So I kinda like that, but there's almost no way of getting out of there with the Buster, so you better have your shield ready. But it's kind of a fun design, I have to admit. Mega Man games have done the 1-up traps as well, so it's all cool with me. Again, too lazy to battle? You'll just get off the hook. And why would you not use it when it's that powerful? And here, the game makes you want to hurry, that's what I like. So you can't take too much time. Again, the 1-up, I will showcase how to get that, if you're wondering. I haven't tried to get it, but let's see if my assumption is right. Of course, if you mistime this, you're in a bad spot, because you'll get hit by these trolls. Troll wheel. Just... Oh my god, it's so hard to get between those blocks. Why is that? I'm gonna lose all of my energy. What the hell? Is that... I'm not sure why that was so difficult, but at least we showcased that as well. Why is it so difficult to fall between the blocks? Of course now I can do it when there's nothing to get. Fucking trolling me, this game is... Don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying this game still. If I was gonna do a let's play... Oh my... So you hit your head again here or nothing? But anyway, if I was gonna do a let's play of this, then I would definitely avoid the puzzle stages for sure. And again, very fun design. Elecman here being scared about the... well, the Wily machine, pretty much. The fourth one, or a bit redesigned. This reminds me of Nitro Man stage with the trucks. That's a fun design as well. It's fun to see the same kind of gimmicks from other stages. And yes, I said a gimmick. That's a gimmick, if anything. And again, nothing here. Just close it. Just my opinion. You don't have to close it if you don't wanna. And here you have to go the right way. If you go the wrong way, it punishes you. But how to know where to go? The trick is how to know where to go. The trick is to follow the worm where he goes. Sorry. Felt like I had to do that. The trick is though, you have to kill him first. So don't be a dumbass. Circuit Breaker is your pal. Really is. So just hit it once and see where it goes. Reminds me of that Zelda screen where you're supposed to go... I can't even remember where. northwest, southwest or something? I don't remember. In any case, same kind of design. I think this goes on for a bit too long. Like, just take one screen off or something. It's a bit too... Like, I get it how to do it by now. You don't have to drag it for that long. So now we have an auto-scroller with the birds. We're probably just gonna E-tank here, so we're not gonna track this any longer than need be. Again, timing is crucial, and some of these spots for these enemies I don't quite agree with, but we'll go with it. And this is where we die. But if you saw the Guts Dozer at the background, kudos. That's a fun addition as well. But this is quite a punishment for 2 checkpoints. We are sent way back, and this stage feels long as hell compared to the other ones. It just goes on and on and on. But I like the designs in it, so it's not that bad that it's a long stage. So some minor things that could make the stage a bit better. Oh my horse shit. I'm too old for this shit. Fuck. He terminado con esta mierda, solo mierda. El Diablo. He terminado con esta canon solo. I love how the thing also kills the zombies. That's pretty fun. Also a good design that you can go to the right path before the mini-boss gets there, so it doesn't fuck up. That's good. Again, here, advisable using the weapons, because using the buster is just difficult as hell. Your best friend, Circuit Breaker, at your service. Oh boy. I can't really say anything about this section, because I don't like auto-scrollers. Whoa! That was a bit strange. But if you like them, then you'll probably enjoy that part. I am biased again, because I don't like those. So here, last obstacle before the boss. Really advisable using Rush Coil here. Alright, for Plague Man, I like all the other aspects except the part where he drops down those spiders. I was fine for them being in stages. I didn't want to see them in a boss fight. It makes it a bit too hectic. This could have been much better of a boss fight without the spiders. But hey, we got them, so let's make the best out of them. I don't know how you do that, but like, you can get cornered like that with the spiders. They just create a bunch of problems. I do like how he has an attack that resembles Needlema's attack. That's pretty funny. But the spiders, they just ruin this boss for me for some reason. I just don't enjoy it as much because of them. It's probably just my own opinion here. If you like these, then all the power to you. I just think they ruin this fight a bit. He has sweet mechanics and he's a fun boss to battle. I would have gotten rid of the spiders and made him do one more pattern probably. That's probably what I would have done here. It's a bit too hectic with the spiders. Did I mention the spiders yet? They are a bit hectic. I'd really enjoy it if it was just Plague Man himself battling with Mega Man. I would have even preferred, like, if he brought up zombies from the ground. Those spiders are just so... They just move so rapidly and it's hard to avoid them. Of course it's doable, but it really encourages you to use weapons here again. Which I'm not a fan of. Of course it's good enough that it can be dealt with Buster only. But ugh. So not bad. Just some minor tweaks here and there would have made this better. You fucking spiders. And I do hate the fact that almost every fan game uses the Charge Buster from Mega Man 5. I think it's the worst fucking buster. Because whenever you take a hit, you lose your charge. So I'm not sure about that punishment that is adequate. I prefer the Mega Man 4 buster a lot more over 5. I'm not sure why fan games insist on the 5. If you know, maybe you can tell me. Oh shit, we're gonna die. Cock smoke! It's a neat gimmick, it's a fun idea. I mean, a robot master that spawns things, it's a neat idea. But I think the spiders is the last thing that I would have made him spawn here. Just... yeah, I would have just made him spawn something else. The spiders really fuck me in the ass. Oh my god, he can do it so often too. Ah, just one more charge. Oh, or 2 more. That's a fight without E-tanks, oh boy. Post Mega Man stretch. Did I mention the fucking spiders though? Let's tackle Dead Man. Kinda generic name, but what can you do? Sickle Man. The stage is nothing that I've ever seen in a Mega Man game. There are no enemies. The only gimmick is spikes. All different kinds of spikes. And again, the atmosphere doesn't really scream Mega Man. But I will get over that. If you want, you can use the charade clone here. One problem with this is if you're dumb, this doesn't... They look like platforms to me. More than spikes, so a little more spikier spikes would have been cool here. And it doesn't make sense, as you can see, you're on the foreground, you're riding the little platform, but the spikes are under the platform, and that means they are in the background. I'm not sure how you get killed, because you're not on the same plane with the spikes, but that's just a small thing I noticed again. So ignore that if you want. It's hard to make things like these look like you're on the same, same plane with them. So I can forgive that. So if you wanna be really careful, you can do this. You have an extra go. But I would rather use it on the next portion. Because I can't, for the love of me, figure out how to get past these spikes efficiently. My brain doesn't work on puzzles like these. I just can't read this when to jump on it, because it has a 3D effect. It's so difficult for my brain to understand how to get past this. But we'll try regardless. I'm not good in things like this. Extremely difficult for me to understand how that works. Whenever you're making 3D effects in a 2D game, it's a bit of a crapshoot if it works or not. I think it works pretty okay here. I'm just not used to this kind of thing, so it just makes it that much more difficult for me. They did something like this in the Castlevania games on the Super Nintendo as well, but as you can see, I suck at this. And we're running out of the weapon. I'm so bad at things like that. Let's see if we can feel Charade Clone. We have 4 weapon tanks, so might as well use them. Because I suck at these kind of levels. And this reminds me of the last stage of Castlevania 2, where there are no enemies. But at least here there's spikes. Excuse me? Hold on here. Why can't I step on that? It's a platform. Why can't I step on it? I'm gonna try one more time just to be sure. That can't be right. What kills me? That's an oversight. You should be able to ride that thing. There's nothing at the top that would kill you. Again, it's the problem with the linear top. It makes you think that you can actually ride it. But nope, apparently not, so keep that in mind, I guess. That's a bit strange. Oh well, we'll get over it. It's a bit of a boring stage. I'm not a fan of this myself. Again, your opinion may vary, but not a fan of this kind of design. Not for me, as I would say. Oh, Jesus. Jesus. It's just something that I guess splits people in half. Well, not literally, but you know what I mean. The audience. Some of you might like this and, well, some of you might hate it. And that's just the way it goes when you design strange levels like this. I would rather have some enemies here. It would make this more fun. And I'm not sure how the concept of death correlates with spikes. Of course you die in one hit, like, that's the correlation, but still a bit of a weird design. I'm not sure about this one. Okay, that was probably luck. I'll take it. Alright, this is pretty cool though, I like this one. It's probably a bit too lenient, there's a lot of time to go through that, but of course the first screen is teaching you, so I think it's a good design. Considering how hectic the other parts of the stages are, that part could have been harder. Does that thing... Oh no, that's a... Uh-oh. Ta-da! You can't use the charade clone here. Oh man. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that to happen, to be honest. And... that's also a big oversight, I guess. Why is the charade clone? Why doesn't the charade clone stay on the platform? Oh man. Such physics. So you have to actually do that part legit. Alright, let's do it then. Son of a bark. And regardless, we are at the boss. Very short stage. We have a different music, which is a nice touch. And the patterns are not so bad. I think it works pretty well. Not a bad fight at all. Actually kind of fun. And you have time to react to his moves if you are better than me. It definitely takes some time to get used to his telegraphs, but once you do, it's not that bad. Definitely above average again when it comes to the Robot Master designs in this game. Of course he's not a Robot Master, but... And I like his design too, it's just not that Mega Man-ish again, it's a bit of a... SINISTER, but... This game is pretty brave on its designs, so... It's granted, pretty much. So it's understandable. So Deathman's fight, I do enjoy it. It's not too RNG heavy. Even though there's probably some RNG in it, like what move he's gonna choose, it's probably just full RNG, but when you design it well, it doesn't bother you that much. Huge damage though, like 3 hits and you're dead. But he is dead, man. Okay, that's pretty okay. You don't have to keep shooting him, Beat can just kill him. This is actually pretty cool. If you can stay alive for the duration. Yeah, it's not too bad. Kind of fun. That was fun. I realized Beat is probably not his weakness, but that was a fun fight regardless with the Beat. The Beat. We're just gonna ignore the story, this is not about the story, this series. So let's see what Justice Man has against us. So let's go check the shop, about time, right? 444 screws, probably the maximum, because I think I had that amount a long while back. So... let's see what this does. And get E-tanks with the rest. Maybe some weapon tanks as well. There we go. So how do I get out of the shop? There's... okay, the B button. If you agreed on what I said, leave a like. And if you disagreed, leave a dislike.